Hey, welcome to another RecLand Realty podcast. This is another land review. This is going to be 112 acres in Ouachita Parish, Louisiana. Let me take you to it now for those of you that are following on the video review. And let's take a look at the aerial and I'll show you where it is. I actually have this tract listed. It's an older client of ours, and he always wants me to list his stuff, so more than happy to do that. This particular property is it's in Ouachita Parish, but part of it is in Jackson Parish as well. So it's just on the west edge of Ouachita Parish. It's south and west of Calhoun, Louisiana. For those of you that know where that is, that's a pretty popular part of our the parish right here, out south, West Ouachita Parish, and it's south and west of Calhoun. Give you an idea here, you can see Calhoun is here. Of course, it's all south of the interstate, all south of I-20. Shudron is here, so you can see, Ruston, Louisiana there, Monroe, Louisiana there, just to give you an idea of where this property is situated. It has good access. Of course, it actually fronts a blacktop road on the east boundary, and it actually corners with a road on the very south and east boundary as well. For those of you that are watching the video, you can see that. So there's 2 points of access. The primary access, a gated graveled road, is here on the east boundary at kind of where Ashley Griggs Road and Beulah Church Road form an intersection. For those of you that know this area well, you know exactly where that is. There's a yellow pipe gate. That's a lock gate. That's the access to the north side and then the back side of the property. I'll zoom you in here a little bit and give you tell you what I know about the place. I've walked it pretty good, and I've driven around to the other side and walked in from the south. The main feature on this property is this 4 acre, between 4 and 5 acre lake here on the west side. It's actually fed from springs that are up in these hills right here. You can't see it on the aerial, but this is pretty hilly ground. I'll flip over here to the topo here real quick for those of you watching the video, and you can see all these contour lines. That indicates elevation changes, and it's high ground right here, and then it falls down into this bottom down here where of course the lake is. The lake is dammed up, so on the kind of the northwest part of it, so it'll hold water. The problem is not holding water on this property or on this lake. The main thing is getting water because it's spring fed, getting water off of it, because it's constantly running into that lake there. So that the owners have put in a levee here on this north side and a spillway. They created a pipe system, a culvert system, where water can, when it gets to the top of that, will run through the pipe and through the levee, and then go out this creek on the back side. They're always fighting with beavers because, as you know, beavers don't want water to go anywhere. They want to stay right there. But they've created a pretty good little system there to be able to keep the lake at a consistent level where it doesn't wash over that levee that they have. They've told me they've caught lots of good fish out of it, a lot of bass. It's a neat looking little old lake. There's so much timber around it. There's going to be a lot of structure in the bottom of that lake, I'm sure. There's going to be limbs and trees down in there that's been there forever. So there's probably a well-established little 4 acre lake. This ground right here it's got a lot of elevation changes in it for our part of the country. I mean, we're kind of flat over here, but as you start getting into the west part of Ouachita, up into Union, and then Lincoln and Claiborne, and that way you start getting into a little more topography, some elevation changing, and this track right here really captures that. You've got actually some pretty good terrain right here on the north side, and then over here on the very south and west side of the property. There's a lot of pine saw timber on the track, and a lot of upland hardwoods. You're going to find some really beautiful white oaks in this thing, saw timber size. The timber has not been cut in a long time, so there's a substantial volume of saw timber on the property. And then there's also some younger pine on the south, or excuse me, on the east boundary, but on the south part of that east boundary. So you've got a lot of different timber types in here and ages, but it's all going to be natural stand. But it's gorgeous. It really is. Substantial volume, money-wise, as well as it's just pretty. And there's a good wildlife habitat. I've seen deer and hogs on the property, and you've got so much adjoining habitat around it that there's plenty of backup for somebody that has this tract right here. And they build a nice home in here overlooking this lake on this ridge. They're also going to be able to see deer and kill a deer too. It's just that kind of property. It's priced for a large rural home site. They're asking a little under $600,000 for the 112 acres. I've seen an appraisal from a noted appraiser, and his appraisal is actually a little higher. But you and I both know appraisal and what people are paying for tracts sometimes are not exactly the same. But my point is, this property is going to easily appraise for what they're asking for it currently, as well as what it will eventually sell for. These large rural home sites like this are very desirable. They're just expensive because they're large, and so the universe of buyers is a little bit smaller for 112 acres priced like this than it would be just 12 acres priced like this. But the end buyer is going to be somebody that wants to come in here and build a home, probably on this ridge right in here, where it's just gorgeous high ground with big timber and off of this access road and overlooking this really pretty lake down in this bottom. So anyway, let me take you over here to the website where we've got all the details on the property. If you're want to look at this property on our website, it's RecLand.net, and then go to the land for sale page, and it's Ouachita Parish. And Ouachita, for those of you that aren't right here in this area, is spelled O-A-C-H-I-T-A. That's Ouachita. So if you're scrolling down looking for a W, you're going to be disappointed. You need to look for an O. That's how you spell Ouachita. But anyway, it's Louisiana, Ouachita, 112 acres. And when you click on it, you're going to come to this listing page here, and it's got all the details down at the bottom about the tract and a lot of good pictures, including some drone aerials and drone video on this property. And if you're watching on the if you're watching this video review now, you can see this lake, some drone footage or drone aerial of it there. It really is gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful tract, really is. And in a good area, it's going to be a great property of a lifetime to build a secluded rural home on a big piece of ground that you can have recreational use, year-round recreational use, and really, really enjoy. So I hope you'll take a look at it. Again, Ouachita Parish, 112 acres. And if you want to go see this property, you got to set an appointment with me so I can let you in that gate, and I can take you in there and tour you around as much as you want. But you can get a really good feel for it on our listing page here with the video that's available and these aerial these aerial images. So thank you very much for listening to our podcast and watching these land reviews. Feel free to email us if you have any questions. If you've got anything specifically that you'd like us to eventually address or talk about in these podcasts as this grows, just shoot it to us and we'll see what we can do. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.